changed my whole life by understanding neuroscience and scripture. I used to have severe anxiety, depression, OCD tendencies. I was super overweight, almost 300 pounds. I procrastinated. I had addictions. All I knew was survival mode and self-sabotage. And I was struggling with this even after I got saved, because even though I left Egypt, Egypt still lived in me. Now, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I'm 90 pounds down. I'm financially free. I haven't worked a regular job in over 2 years. My relationships are all healthy. I married my best friend. My mental health is intact. God grew my platform to over 100,000 followers. I can go on and on, but all of these things changed because I realized that all the things that I was going through, all the cycles that I was in, wasn't just a spiritual battle. They were neurological patterns. And if these things can be wired into me, they can also be rewired. The thing is that the process to be rewired is long, is messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's definitely not linear. This is why it took the Israelites 40 years instead of 11 days in order to get to the promised land. And remember, Egypt represents trauma and bondage. The wilderness season represents the sanctification and rewiring process. And the promised land represents the true embodiment of freedom and authenticity in God. Anyways, here's everything that I learned so far about renewing your mind, body, and spirit with scripture and science. I have my notes ready. So number 1 is your brain is wired for safety, not growth. Your brain does not moralize your decisions or your lifestyle or your habits. It doesn't care if something is toxic or holy. The only thing that it cares about is keeping you safe. And for the brain, safety is not a matter of if something is good for you or bad for you. It's just a matter of being familiar. Your brain is wired to work on autopilot and with the least amount of resistance and friction. And because in order to step into your new life, you have to literally build a new pathway from scratch. Like, I'm talking about literal pathways. Your neural pathways, yeah, it's literally like building a bridge from scratch. Your brain doesn't want to do all of that work. It wants to literally just continue on the path that it already knows, that's familiar, and that has been working this whole time, even if those things are not good for you. Which brings me to my next point, where you can retrain your brain to find safety in growth. And in order to retrain your brain to find safety and growth, you have to expose it to new experiences. The thing is that it's not just about exposing yourself to new experiences. You have to actually be intentional and conscious when you are in those new experiences. When you try new things or try to pick up a new habit or try to do anything that aligns with this new version of yourself you want to build, you have to be mindful and you have to learn how to be present. Meaning, when you try something new, don't just try something new. Literally take mental notes. Literally tell yourself, you see, it wasn't that bad. We're safe. You see, try to do it in small increments so you don't overwhelm yourself. That way, your brain can store it in the mental files as safety. Like, all right, this activity was actually not so bad, and maybe we can continue trying again tomorrow. It's literally like training a toddler. My next point that I learned is that trauma doesn't just live in your mind. It actually lives in your body. What your mind has forgotten about or has distracted itself from, or whatever the case may be, your body remembers. And when it's not addressed, these things can turn into illnesses, chronic